There are a lot fewer two-parent families.
What's worth more, $1 today or $1 tomorrow?
Almost nobody gets out of love alive.
Prisoners' rights is out of sight, out of mind.
Is your brain on God?
You ain't ready to
There are discussions
how
as
they
a
thought
black family we have to have them.
What's worth more, $1 today or $1 tomorrow? What's worth more, $1
Welcome, folks, to your Reality Gurus, the show where we take a commonsensical approach to issues through complex conversation. I'm your host, G. Cleve, and with a new crop of high school students getting ready to graduate, a lot of these kids are college bound. So let's go ahead and talk about it. College, the United States, effectiveness. Is there a strategy to it? Do we need it anymore? Is it too expensive? Got a couple fellas here. We're gonna go ahead and discuss it. Fellas. Andy, Anyae, DB, Reality Gurus. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing this morning?
Great. Copacetic.
Copacetic. All right. So, I have some children, man. 14 and 12. And in a few years I'll be, having to think about this college situation, man. I know my thoughts on it, but before I get into it and jump on my little soapbox, who wants to get into it, man? How you feel about college and the need or the idea that you need to do college and get some sort of degree in order to be successful in this country? What you think about it?
Well, I feel like certain majors you should go to college. Other majors you shouldn't go to college.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like if you're going to a certain field, you're going like scientific field, you're going technology field. You might need some kind of extra higher learning. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, certain things, yeah, you're setting yourself up a lot. That shit is way too expensive. Way too fucking expensive.
All right, damn, bro. Yeah, we listening, man. What you got?
And that's where I think we go wrong with a lot of this. We push our kids to college, but we don't push on them specifically. What are you going to school for? Because if you're going to school for this, hey, I can support that. I'm gonna pay for it. I got you. But for this right here, I don't want you to waste your time and just get thrown out into the world dealing with a bunch of debt and trying to work your way back up and trying to get a job. We gotta look at what we're really dealing with. We're dealing with a capitalistic society. It's all about goods and services, what you can provide for the people. If what you're trying to do ain't in need for the people, you really got to reevaluate some things, or else you're just going to be stuck in the whole job circle,
And the funny thing about that I thought about, like, I don't know if anybody saw it today. I was watching the news, and I usually watch it like the day after because I record it because I'm working. And Mick Mulvaney, who is part of Trump's cabinet, he's proposing this bill or whatever that basically he wants to unify the Department of Labor and the Department of Education. And his thoughts on it from his speech was that basically they're both doing the same thing to put you in the workforce anyway, so why not combine it? And that's the mind state of education usually overall in America, is just to build you to the workforce. It's not supposed to really teach you much. It's not supposed to better you. It's supposed to just get you into the workforce.
Or I guess prepare you for whatever it is you decided for. Like, let me be easy with this. It's a one of these robotic system strategies where if you're brain dead, like literally brain dead, if they have a system that sets you up to go from K through 12, right? And then you graduate there, you go to, undergrad, you do that for a few years, and you know, post grad and fucking medical school. They have a system, and even if when I say brain dead, meaning like if you don't necessarily know what you want to do, all you have to do is be disciplined enough to just do the work, and at the end you have this certification. That's the part about it that I don't like. I don't like the brain dead aspect of it. I don't like the and so Anya, when you say know what you're going to college for, my son already knows. My oldest one already knows how I feel about that. If by the time you turn 18, you can't express to me what it is that you want to do when you go to college, then hopefully you did well enough in high school, with your grades that someone's going to pay for it. Because I watch it too many times of these kids. I've seen it in my own, in my own little circle. The idea of us just feeling like us going, one of our children going to college is enough. First generation college goes, right? That's just, oh my God, my baby went to. Okay, what does that mean though? If they drop out a year into it, what happens if they don't graduate? Like, what does it mean then? That party that you spent all that money for, to have to show the community that they're going to college, you stopped there. You didn't see to it that they made it through, or even talk to them to make sure that they had what they needed to be able to survive in an environment like that. You know. But again, my kids know, and we're not playing that game. Either you're gonna know what you want to do, can explain to me what you want to do when you get to college, what you want to do with your life, or we're gonna go ahead and get you a job until you can figure it out.
I mean, I think people probably need to reevaluate what education is. Mark Twain got a saying that I never let schooling get in the way of my education. That you gotta think that education is bigger, learning is bigger than just I mean, you could go to a job and get on the job training. You could get apprenticeships. You could do all of that. Like my personal thing is like I don't know why high school is set up the way it is, where you can't start getting more into specialization, where you can't start thinking about trade and all that stuff, where kids can have a better handle before going to a college, which they have to pay all this money to actually do. You know what I mean?
I want to say real quick, I think because there is profit and indecisiveness. That's why I feel like high school is built like that. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah. But no, that indecisiveness is the reason why I thought. Well, I guess the profit kind of negates all that. But that's why you should have in a high school when it's still economically feasible for those kids to could try to make up their mind. They could jump from their freshman year to senior year between different trades and try to figure out, okay, what's for me? Instead of when you get to college and you got to pay out this money, and then they realize, oh, maybe I'm not built for this, or maybe this is not what I really want, and then all this money is wasted. You know what I mean? Like I've been through a shit myself, not necessarily because I go to online college now, and I'm still in the same field. I'm still in the animation and visual arts. But the first school I went to, I didn't like the school. I felt like I wasn't learning that well at all. So then I dropped out and went to another school. I didn't drop out, but I transferred to another school. And all that money that I wasted in that first school, I can't get back, and I still got to pay for it. You know what I mean? And that kills me to this day because I know it's waiting for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's always in the back of my head, and it's kind of hard to set your kid up for that. You know what I mean? Like I'm grown and fell for that. I can imagine when you were a kid, you know what I mean, and you're going into that, and you're way more indecisive than I am. Mm-hmm. That you know what I mean, making all these decisions and have to pay this money for making those mistakes.
Again, I'm not even upset with the idea with kids being indecisive at maybe 16, 17, 18. I'm fine with that. You have the right to be indecisive. But specifically with my kids, I also have the right to hold this bread if you can't explain to me why.
Yeah, it's painful. It's a price tag.
So I'll let you go out there, go get yourself, a little minimum wage gig or something, something, get you out in the working world. And when you get tired of it, then you can go ahead and put some thought into what you want to do with your life. And if it requires you to go get some, some other education, online schooling or whatever, then we can talk about it. But not before then. Not before that. I won't continue, that cycle. Like I said, I watched it. I'll give you a story. There was I'm trying not to use no fucking names here and shit.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to get sentimental. You taking too long.
Not
I'm
sentimental.
It's
not sentimental. It's just that like the story it can kind of explain like what it is that I'm saying at the moment. Is just it's not my story. It's someone else's story. So that's I'm saying. So I'll give you an idea of someone who is going through some of the best education this country has to offer from a young age. I'm talking about from K through 12 that probably never seen a public school. Schools are probably private. Probably have courses and stuff in there like vocation or like specialized knowledge. In these schools, the ones you got to pay for, You know, you talking about maybe, public schools, ain't no incentive to put no extra money for that in there anyway. But, these other schools, specialized high schools, do real well, great grades, and then get accepted to a university. Um, Everything's looking good, man. For the last 18, 19 years or so, everything was looking real good. The blueprint, the whole plan, it's working out. And then you get there. And, now we're talking about real life. You don't have professors don't give a fuck like teachers. Teachers are constantly, on your back about shit. Professors tell you this is what needs to be done. If it ain't done by this date, then you're getting incomplete, or you getting you understand what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck at all. They get paid whether you participate or not. And then now you in there, you dealing with this, the whole change. Next thing you know, a year from now, you on like academic probation type shit, because the workload either was too rough, you haven't adjusted like you needed to. The support system is not there like it was in high school, and it just caught up to you. And now the real life situation is telling you didn't spend, or your parents or whatever, you didn't spend thousands of dollars for this first semester, and now you have to go home. Now, I'm not going to be a part of that. If my children cannot communicate to me effectively what it is that they want to do with their life, then I'm not going to send you to college just so you can waste that money. I would rather just allow you to go do a minimum wage job, and whatever it is that I was supposed to put towards your education, I'll put to the side. The shit can sit there. I could get some interest on the motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? I don't see the sense in putting it out there unless my kids know what's going on. That's just it for me, man. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but that's me.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think that's the main problem, is just the price tag with it. Like even the scenario you gave me, in theory, I don't have no problem with it, because diversity, I think, is needed. I think some people thrive, some people fail. That's natural. It's just the fact you got to pay for the shit. You got to pay so much money, for it, you're setting up another trap, which makes that shit harder. Which you gotta make that decision. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
I think that's the only thing, is the amount of money, because that money, and the way it is now, like it's no safeguard for that shit. You know what I mean? Where the prices keep going up, and everything that it's getting worse. It's getting much worse financially.
Now, no, that money aspect is important to me. But let me ask you guys, Andy, y'all feel that it's just a money thing? It's a mainly a money thing too? Because I think it's a little more than money. Again, the whole robotic state, I don't really like that. I don't.
Well, yeah, it's definitely that element of money involved with it. It's definitely that element of, we just want to put you into the machine, because you're not smart enough to innovate, to create on your own. So why don't you just jump into this what I'm trying to build right here? You could be at the bottom of my pyramid. Right. But also, I think a part that we really leave out, especially within our community, it's almost like an expectation. It's the imagery of it all. That you've achieved something. My child has achieved something. He's in college. Well, what is he studying for? I don't know, but he's in college. How much is he gonna make when he get out? I don't know, but he's in college. Right. We're doing the right thing.
But see, that's why I think creates that robotic thinking, because you already kind of going through that tradition. Like what I'm saying with college, with the experience of it, and I'm speaking mainly from my own, is that it's taught me a lot of things. It taught me about how to conform myself to a deadline. It showed me that I can actually put in this work and actually do it. It showed me I could enhance my skills and everything from all the stuff that I learned. It really did teach me. Mm-hmm. I think that depends on the university you go. It depends on what you go to school for. Like we mentioned, if you go into a different specialization and that's what you really want to do, you're passionate about, then yeah, that's something. If you're going to college just to go to college, then you're being a robot. You're being a sheep, because that's a tradition of it. But if you're going in there with a real purpose, a real goal, then that's a little bit different. You know what I mean? That's building your character a little bit more. You know what I mean?
I think we really need to work on just noticing our children's specialties and capitalizing on that, instead of just throwing them into the machine. Because if I notice at 5 years old, my child, he's a little hustler, I gotta cultivate that. Right. I don't want to just throw him into the machine. That's a young entrepreneur. He doesn't need college. I need to show him about entrepreneurship right now, the ins and outs of it. formulate his own little business right now.
Have him go into that closet, grab the Hot Wheel cars, the G.I. Joes, and all that shit, put it in the front yard and sell those motherfuckers. A lemonade stand for the females.
Lemonade.
Whatever, man. That's the type of shit that I like to see. You see kids making moves that way. I truthfully, I would like to see a kid tell me, say my kid one day, say, Dad, you know what? I've been telling you for years that I want to be an actor, right? And now I want to go to this school because I can go ahead and hone my acting skills in that school. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear, yeah, I'm getting ready to graduate and, here's the applications that the counselor told me I need to fill out. Can you help me with these? No, I'm not. I'm not. You don't even know why you going here. Fuck, I'm helping you with the application for. If you would have came to me and told me, yo, Dad, this school right here is where I need to go because I need to be able to do this. Now we got a conversation. We got
and I think
I say that we should propose legislation to get our motherfucking money back if the shit goes awry.
Like some college
it should be somebody,
right?
Some kind of
exactly, college insurance. If I'm trying my best and you see like, oh shit, you should get at least 3/4 of it back. Something. I guarantee you nobody would care about.
Try my best, right? Yeah, that's interesting, man. That's pretty interesting, man.
You know, with this whole like freedom thing, hey, my child is free. He's free and he's independent to be whatever he wants to be. Again, there's still that level of you have to be watching your child to see what his strengths and weaknesses are. Because today, when he's 17, he might feel like this is what he wants to do. But if you notice that, hold on. I know that's what you feel like you want to do, but let me tell you what I really see in you. And hopefully you can find a balance in between what he's trying to do and what you see in him, instead of just letting him do it on his own, make all these mistakes down the road and end up in $100,000 worth of debt and making $16 an hour.
Let me be fair then. Let's take, like I'm using my son as an example, but he has me here, right? He has his mother here. He has our influence. So let's grab a kid who doesn't have the parental influence, and they trying to figure it out. Like, what would you say to them? Like, if they don't have that structure or they don't have that environment, that provokes that thinking about being that hustler, being an entrepreneur, or even knowing what you want to do in the machine, right? What would you say to them? Like what would their options be?
I mean, elaborate in regards to as not having somebody, because somebody's gonna have somebody. I mean, not all the time. And I feel like if they don't have somebody, college would be the last thing in their fucking head.
But
it's just gonna be some kind of surrogates.
Well, here's the thing. Like, okay, so let's take a situation. I know a young girl who's this was a little different because this is just her own motivation, but she comes from a situation where she was like working like odd jobs at an early age, like 14, to assist with stuff for the household with her mother. She's like, maybe I think there was four of them. She's the oldest, right? So she had been doing that for years, but she in that she's going to school, she's getting her A's, honor rolls, because she knew that the way that she was going to help her family was by getting a free ride to some sort of some college or whatever, going to become like a doctor and then coming back and assisting, later on. But that was someone who was self-motivated. For you, Andy, I'm talking about someone who may have adults around them, but none of the influence is positive. We're talking about total dysfunction. Nobody's focusing on entrepreneurship, budgeting, really no real school. School is, for the most part, a babysitting service. You understand what I'm saying? Let me get you out of this house, and I don't want nobody calling me until 3 o'clock. I'm talking about someone growing up in a situation like that.
The people that I kind of know that's maybe somewhat close to that situation you're talking about normally kind of go the military route. They go somewhere else where they can maybe try to find themselves a little bit more. They don't normally just jump right into school unless they already got that influence in them. You know what I mean? But they like, I've known a lot that usually tell me that they went to military because they didn't know where they were going, or they didn't have the resources to do something else.
But you know what? Even with the military route, I gotta be completely honest. That's like the robotic route too. That's just throwing you into the machine for somebody else's agenda, and I'm not cool with that. But
I get it, but yeah, I think that's probably why people do it, because they already lost.
Yeah,
They probably don't have the agenda. You know what I mean?
I'm definitely not judging that person, but I just say look at the generation that we're in right now. And if you use an example of the kid that doesn't have someone at home to use as an example, they can use this show as an example of how to make something out of nothing. No one taught us how to put this whole thing together, but we do have the internet in front of us. That's a great tool that everyone has. Everybody hops on the internet every day. Everybody's on social media every day. You can turn yourself into your own entrepreneur today through the internet, and people are doing it, and there's many different examples of it. What do you like to do? What do you specialize in? How can I put this together, market it, and sell it to the people?
But they have platforms too. They have different platforms where I forgot the name of the site, but it's like different platforms where it could teach you certain skills and trades and whatnot. So in a way, that could kind of be against college. It's kind of making it a little antiquated.
It should be.
It's like,
it should be. I've actually done a couple of those colleges myself, and then YouTube in itself could be a college.
Yeah, that's
but
what I was saying. Let's be honest.
But even with that, there was guidance. You know what I mean? That's the thing. People look for guidance. That's the shit about almost all of that. Like the fact is, like you think about school, you think about teachers, you think about that since they are a teacher, they know what they're talking about. And we talked about leadership and all that shit before. People kind of gravitate to that shit too. They think of it like a specialization. They don't think of it like, I just need to learn what I need to learn. You know what I mean? You gotta teach information is the highest point. They need that guidance somewhere to actually point in that direction sometimes.
A lot of the times too, it's I feel like people have a need to be like cultivated or refined. And I feel like as you grow up, you start to look for somebody to kind of show you the ropes. And this is where college come into play, and this is where teachers or adult figures where people feel like, I need to hone my talents. And most of it is like you just feel like you want to be cultivated. You want to be like, I need somebody to show me the ropes. Like I need like a Mickey from Rocky or fucking Sylvester Stallone. If you like Creed or whatever.
Right. You want like a mentor of some kind, some way.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have actually talked to some parents for a minute, because if you have a child that's saying that they don't want to go to college, like I don't want to go, like I don't want to go to college, like why would throwing thousands of dollars towards college for that individual, that child, be a smart idea? If one of your children told you they did not want to go to college, why would that be a smart idea? I want to ask a couple parents that, because then when they drop out and they on their way back home, and you thinking about the thousands of dollars that you done lost, like who you blaming? You gotta listen to your children, man, and understand that there's some kids out there that are they stubborn or lazy or whatever. But the truth of it is, as they get 18 years old, they don't have to listen to a fucking word that you're saying. You understand? So why would I throw thousands of dollars towards a university, a college? I don't give a shit if it's public. I mean, like a community.
And I think it's kind of like what Anyae is saying. It's past just listening to your kids. It's actually knowing your kids. You know what I mean? Because your kid can say whatever he wants. Like, oh yeah, I want to do it because he might have got that idea from somewhere. But if you know your kid is not built for that right now, then I'm not gonna do it. Show me that you want it. Like you said, do something for a year or so, then come back to me. Show me you motivated before I actually put the money to actually do it. Because your kid, he might not do it. He might not make it.
You know what I'm starting to hear in this conversation is, again, a lot of kids just coming from an environment of chaos, a lack of structure, a lack of knowledge around them. Now, just think, I know this is maybe just the idealistic world, but the structure. Okay, if you was a parent, if you have a business, okay, if you're teaching your child business and he develops some type of little business in his teens, okay, those are two options that he already has before he hits college. Okay, you could further your business, or maybe I could pass down the family business to you, and maybe you can even run both. Maybe we could choose the option of trade school, because you can never go wrong with the trade. You can move to any country and take that trade with you. They can never take that away from you. But I just hate the fact that it's just like it's college or nothing.
Right. Or even military. And this is shout out to all our active, retired,
Respect.
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 But
Yeah.
I'm talking specifically to individuals who are making a decision to do that because they don't have any other choice. I'm talking about them. You know, if you're making a conscious decision to go into the military, that's absolutely fine. You know, I remember when I was graduating, you know, I didn't make the transition to college. That shit was out for me. I really wasn't even feeling, not thinking the way I'm thinking now, but then just I was done with the whole school thing. Military, you know, even though I had like multiple members in my household, the household that I was growing up in had gone through the military. I had an aunt, had an uncle, both had gone through military. Um, wasn't anything that I was interested in though. You know, I didn't feel like, it was school, military, or nothing. I had another option. I'm gonna hit this pavement and I'm gonna go make some money. You understand? I went out there, I did some bullshit work, you know, from 18 DB, you know, boy. You know. You
Yeah,
understand?
yeah.
It was
But you know the funny thing, even with that, because I guess I was a lost kid.
oh, did we lose him?
Shit.
Yeah, all right, well I'll wait for DB to come back. But yeah, like I was out there doing hold on, wait a minute. Let me see how far y'all go back, man. How far you go back? Andy, how far you go back, bro? You remember those those cats that used to walk around the city with the carts and the cardboard boxes, and they used to sell like trimmers and children's books and shit like that. Tell me you know about these cats.
Fuck no, I don't know what say about that. You talking about like like a merchant?
Well,
Like, how
this
do
is.
you
I'm gonna keep it in band. When I came out of when I
like a Moorish merchant walking around? Like, nah,
we used to be out there.
they gotta see the stands when they move, when they don't move. I see the mobile stands, and they just right there, and they're like, "Yo, all right, yo, I got this." I don't know anybody walking with
Listen,
a yo.
so
Nah, I don't remember none of
listen.
that.
So I asked him how far back he goes because I was getting into the idea of kids coming out of high school and Anyae saying your choices are military and college, like your only options or whatever. So I was telling him my own personal story when I came out of high school. And I said, how far do you go back? Because military and college wasn't my option. I went and I hit the pavement. I went to go make some money. I said, do you remember the guys? You have to know because you knew me when I was doing it. The guys who used to walk around with those little fucking fold-up carts, right? It had the little bungee cord on it. Used to hold a box. So used to carry children's books,
Say you everything,
trimmers.
son. Yeah,
Listen,
yeah. I remember what was you selling? Perfume? You selling cologne or some shit,
listen,
right? What was
everything. Listen, this is the deal. I swear, people, we are jumping off topic, but it's important. I'm trying to tell you, Cass, that there's a grind out there. A lot of you motherfuckers ain't touched yet, and I'm about to show you. Listen. So you go to this spots on 39 West 39th Street in Manhattan. You go upstairs, a whole bunch of cats in there, all kinds of ethnicities, white, black, Spanish, white shirts.
Oh no, yeah, they still
The
there.
white shirts
They
with the
still
khaki
around.
pants. That's like.
Nah, I mean, I don't know what they wear exactly, but I mean, yeah, they still like this West 23rd and like through like 29th. They still got the cats, but they like set up shop. I didn't see them walk around with a merchant.
Sent out teams, bro. There was teams. We was the DS Max team out in fucking Manhattan. They used to send us everywhere in New York City.
I remember you taking that little bungee cord on the train and shit. I do remember that
Trim
shit.
is 3 for $10.
Fold it up.
Trim is books.
Put it right there in the train car with you. Yeah, I remember that.
Point.
I remember that. I remember you fold it up right there and then you just bring it
right
with you.
there
I remember
on the train, everything. My point is, if college ain't for you, and military ain't for you, then screw your balls on, get out there and go get your hustle on. Now, I don't think things are so different nowadays that you can't figure out a way to get your hustle. You may not have to be dragging no motherfucking carts with cardboard boxes and trimmers and stuff in it, but you can definitely get on YouTube and do something. I tell my young man.
Do you feel like it's like swimming? Like you pretty much put your kid out there and then hope he don't drown? Like you learn how to swim quick? Like you just got to put them out there. If they don't know what they want to do, just toss them out there and let them figure the shit out.
And hopefully ACS don't come here and start taking children. But for real, honestly, I just look at he's a test subject, man, and I want to know what you capable of. And if I don't stress you out, if I don't put you in situations where I can go ahead and test that, how will you ever know what your kid is capable of? I gotta stress you out. Let me stress you out a little bit. I don't care what age you are. I'm going to stress you out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stress you out, and I'm gonna make sure that you get this experience because I know it's coming. It's gonna be coming. As soon as you turn 18, you're gonna deal with this every day of your life, bro. So you might as well let pops put you through a couple of fucking critical thinking exercises. You know what I mean, to get you prepared for that. You know what I mean? But
listen, you got to do that. I had a teacher at one time. It was a black telecommunication school I did, and this one teacher that was in the school. He used to always constantly like pick at the girls on it. Like he always used to like just go at him, go at him, go at him. And then me and him was talking one time, and he was like, "I do that for a reason." He's like, "I don't mean to be that kind of way, but when they get into the field, being that there's not that many women in the field, they're gonna have to deal with this every day. So I'm letting them feel it now, so when they go in there, that they're prepared for it. Sometimes you got to do that.
Oh, that's smart. I actually like that. That's dope.
Yeah. Now it was a dope school, and that goes back to trying to find yourself, because that school was an all-black school. It was made by two people that was in the telecommunication field way back in the day. Since the telecommunication field didn't have a lot of black people then, they made that school specifically to get black people into that field. So it was all black teachers, everything, and that school taught me a lot. And that kind of shit is out there. So you gotta find your way. You gotta do it. And that school actually, I didn't even pay that much. I paid maybe like $150. And they gave you all the accreditation, they gave you job placement, they gave you all of that. So there are options out there besides the higher education, besides the collegiate level. You know what I mean? You gotta always weigh your options. And I'm not in the telecommunications field now, but I learned a lot from that school. But you gotta teach your kid there's options out there.
That's the key word, man. I touched on that earlier. Options, customized options, not a fucking cookie cutter shit that somebody just gave to you and said, "Here, nigga, these are your options." Nah, we gonna strategically do some things between K through 12, so that you have other options than just going to college without knowing what you want to do. Maybe going into the military because you feel forced, or even just going to grab a minimum wage job because you don't have any ideas. We gonna get into that shit early.
Or become a merchant and hustle on the train.
No,
you got
that was some of the best time I've ever had, bro. And a lot of that had to do with the fact that we were free, in the sense that we get in there and they let you in there for an hour. You do your briefing and then they send you on your way. Take your cart, take your box, take your fucking all your merchandise. Get on the train and go.
That sounds like the ultimate hustle, son. That sounds like being on the block.
I mean,
like, yo, just bring back my money. Just bring back my money. That's it. I don't care how you do it. Just make sure I got my money at the end of the day.
Let's look at this, fellas. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm pretty sure all of us, you know what I'm saying, we come from around the way, we come from the hood, you know what I'm saying? We come from the hustle, we come from the grind. We hustle so hard to move to areas that are better, because we don't want our children to be raised in the hood. We don't want them to be raised around all the negativity and all the craziness that goes on in the hood. But let's look at all the valuable things that we gain from growing up in these areas, whether it be the survival methods, whether it be the hustle that they put into us. Are we softening our children up by having them in these softer areas? Do we need to take our back from time to time so they can get fused with what we got in us?
Yeah, no, we are, because your kid has a cushion now.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have a cushion as much. Your kid has a cushion now, so we are to a certain degree.
Hey, middle school, high school, I was selling bus tokens. You know what I'm saying? I was selling lunch tickets. I was selling candy. I was selling pencils. I was hustling everything in middle school, high school out of my book bag. My pops used to take me to Sam's Club on the weekend. I buy a big ass box of Skittles, candy bars. I mean, the shit got so crazy. One time I was selling like ice cream bars out of my bag.
I mean, that right there is think about this for a minute, man. We all experienced those fundraisers, right? Those fundraisers at school.
Yeah.
Where was that money going? Ed, you ain't never sell no M&Ms, bro? No.
I was never a social club. I was never a social club person. I was always
you never had Carmelos and none of that shit. Like you ain't never sell none of that shit at all.
Nope. I never did none of that shit. I ain't gonna lie. I never did none of that shit. I did. I was one of those. I was like borderline. That nigga used to sit in the back of the classroom. Like I didn't. I was in those social group.
So you say that you didn't want that Walkman that they gave you for selling this Martini? That was my whole motivation right there.
I want that Walkman. I want that stuff. Just borrow my brother's shit. I want that.
You had to get like 1 million points to get that Walkman. Though. You didn't get that Walkman. You wouldn't get that Walkman.
But I mean, all of that money that those fundraisers take it, like I don't know where it went. You know, haven't done any research in my adult years to where that money, you know, traditionally goes. But what you talking about? Go to fucking Sam's Club, BJ's, Costco's, get your kid a shitload of M. They probably won't even allow you to do that now. Can you even sell your own shit nowadays?
Hey, you can on the train.
No, I mean at the school. I mean like at the school. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, the school? Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Listen, man.
Yeah,
I don't know what the punishment was like a slap on the wrist back then. They probably take your shit and get you out of here. But I mean, like now, I don't know if that's like serious. Like if you caught selling like candy, if they really try to jam you up. But that was the first hustle, man. That was the first one. Bazookas, all that shit. That was the first hustle, man. And if you had it then, I mean, you got it now, man. Just got to figure out.
But then even that goes back, like even if your kid has that cushion, then you got to do it. Like you said, you take him outside, build a lemonade stand. You know what I mean? Teach him that economic now.
I've been putting some energy into because he's kid's big on video games. I don't know about, but real huge on like this like Fortnite shit or whatever. So for me, like I
heard about it.
You heard about it?
Yeah,
we ain't getting into it. Trust me, we're not talking about Fortnite at all. My whole thing is I wanted to talk.
It looked a little cheesy. I don't know, like the pictures. Anyway, yeah.
So,
go ahead.
Because
me
and him almost had to throw hands one day behind Fortnite. That's why I don't want to get into it. Like I don't give a yo. Listen, turn that shit off. But what I said, listen, with all these hours, like he only gets to play it, the weekends, right? I said, but you're putting a lot of time on the weekends, man, in this game, man. I said, won't you just put a camera in front of you? I see so many little motherfuckers right now just you scroll through YouTube, so many of them. And I'm saying to you, you don't even have to do it with the idea of trying to make money. Just put the fucking camera on and see how it feels. You never know 4 or 5 years from now, that experience could translate into something that assists you with your acting or whatever the hell you want to do. I mean,
that's true. There's mad YouTubers who make bread off that. Like they'll just be like, yo, I subscribe to a couple of YouTube channels of those people that's cracking jokes and playing games. I'm like, oh shit, and they got like 1 million subscribers. And they had that cat. I forgot his name. I think they had a controversy because he said like nigga one time, but I forgot. Like he was getting so much bread off this YouTube fucking subscription. But I don't know. I think they kind of demonetized a lot of that shit. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you can find a. I
mean,
there's a hustle for everything. You know what I mean? I always remember this one quote by Motor Technique. It was one of his albums because he was kind of ranting about the fact that a lot of A&Rs are saying I can't push your music because of the kind of music. He was like, there's people out there that like chocolate cockroaches. You saying you can't sell my fucking music? There's a market for everything.
Exactly.
There's a
market for absolutely everything, man. You just need an individual, willing to stand in that space and be the one that provides all of that, man. I mean, there's so much opportunity, man. I just think that the old strategy of just right after high school, college being your next destination, I don't subscribe to that. I honestly don't. I've watched, I've witnessed things in my own personal life, stuff that I've been able to do. Said to myself, I could have done this like 15 years ago. I could have been getting to that bag 15 years ago. I had I have the guidance of a partner of mine from down in DC that kind of, assisted me with understanding the financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and stuff. And once I got there, that's why I was like, yeah, all right, let's try to figure out how to make some money, the right way. You know what I mean? And compound interest. And when you start hearing about all that other stuff, man, it just makes you like they're not teaching you that in college. First of all, let me ask this question: and this is no knock to anybody who has one of these degrees, but I've never done enough research on it to really know, because I really wasn't too concerned until now. But what in the hell is a liberal arts degree? What is that?
Yo, we were just talking about that shit.
I just want to know what it is.
Liberal arts and fucking communications. Because I'm gonna go ahead and
what is it?
Yeah, like there was somebody recently I saw on some. It's like writers and shit. Like it's basically. I have no fucking idea. I just know. I know. I see people on TV that say they have a liberal arts degree and they like in some form of communication, like you said. I don't even know what the fuck they do. Like I know a few writers that say they have liberal arts degree. I don't know. Like even like I don't know if y'all ever seen the show Jesus and Mero on Viceland.
Yeah.
Jesus got a liberal arts degree. I don't know what the fuck that got to do with his show, but he got a liberal arts degree. So I don't know what the fuck it is, but it has something to do with communication. I just don't know how they should translate.
It's basically the indecisiveness. Fucking put it as a credentialized form, basically. Like, and it's like liberal arts is like a buffet. It's like mad different shit. Like, okay, you're gonna have one semester, or you're gonna need like 8 credits of fucking math. I don't know the exact credits. I don't remember. Or you're gonna need this amount of fucking English. You're gonna need this and that. And this is basically saying, okay, you finish college. That's it.
So it sounds like general education. It sounds like
it's basically being in high school.
But for thousands of dollars, though. I want to know, like, what, so if anybody has a liberal arts degree and y'all watching and y'all want to comment, just tell me, like, how are you taking advantage of your liberal arts degree today? That's what I want to know. And did that liberal arts degree help you get the career that you have today? I just want to know, what is that shit, man?
Well, ultimately, that's what college is telling us. It's saying, hey, for you motherfuckers that know what you want to do in life, we have some courses in the field for you. But for you motherfuckers that don't know what you want to do in life, and just say you have a degree, we got some shit for you too.
Take this liberal arts degree, man.
But statistically, college does still help. But to me, if you're not going into STEM fields, fuck that shit. Do that shit on your own. Or if you're not like, or teaching in the STEM fields. Other than that, who gives a fuck? Like, do that shit on your own. Like,
normally I like STEAM because I'm in the arts, but even paying for arts, man, because you gotta pay a lot of money for an arts degree and shit. Like if you could, I know a lot of self-made artists, put it like that. Sometimes I feel weird as shit. The fact that I have education and this motherfucker just as dope as me.
Hey, yo, bro, listen, that right there is the wake-up call that everybody needs. When I'm talking about for those who subscribe to the college thing. When you come out of college with your fucking fancy ass degree and your alphabets behind your name, and you run into somebody else who's on par with you, maybe even higher or maybe slightly lower, and they didn't pay half the money. They did that shit by trial error, just experience, going out there and getting it the natural way. That's that wake-up call right there. How much money? And you doing it just like I'm doing it? Get out of here. Kind of tells you something, man.
Exactly.
Learn from my mistakes. Put it like that. Learn from my mistakes, for sure.
And a lot of people, man, they playing off of that fear tactic. That hold up, man. I just don't want to be out in this world without a degree. But at least I just need to have a degree. I'm not too much of a hustler, so if I have a degree, at least I have something to fall back on. And we
still gotta hustle.
You
still gotta hustle.
Okay,
you still gotta hustle.
You fall back on it, right? You fall back on the degree, meaning, okay, so you say, for instance, this is 2018. All right, so let's just say somebody graduated college, they got their liberal arts degree. Or no, forget liberal. Give me something. Give me a nice degree, man. Give me something, man. But maybe it's not in the
psychology or sociology
right now. Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna pick something that's not in high.
Social sciences is out there. It's kind of. I don't know how big it is.
Kind of, sort of, but you could be in a realm of getting a social science degree and probably be like run into somebody who probably works in like the city. You'd be like, okay, yeah, you know what? Like,
so,
all right,
for instance,
whatever. Not a dramatic difference. It's the STEM field. STEM fields is gonna have your shit like up here, like, and then it's like teaching, and then it's like I don't know, liberal arts and all that other shit.
I follow a lot of behavioral scientists. That's why I say it's in big demand, because I like that kind of
go
field.
ahead
Anyway,
and
go
get
ahead.
this degree, right? Got the alphabets, and then you can't find a job right now, right? Okay, you go and you find yourself something. 5 years from now, you wake up and notice that you are still doing this job, and it's not in your field, right? All right, fuck it. I quit. I'm gonna fall back on this degree. And now you go out there to try to find a job and no one's gonna hire you. Why? Because you ain't got no fucking experience, man. You got nothing. No experience. So that you 5 years out of college with this degree, you ain't did nothing yet. Because now you're trying to do something and they don't want to fuck with you because you don't have no experience. That's a real expensive piece of paper.
And colleges know this. Colleges know this. And they don't
care, man.
Oh man. That shit is paradoxical, man. That shit is just like, yeah, that shit is crazy. But I mean,
I ultimately agree with Andy that unless you're going into like a STEM field, something that is in high demand that you need a specific knowledge for, it's probably not worth it, man.
And and schools should just get rid of it. Fuck out of here. Like there's even like certain nurses, like in the nursing and all that other shit. You can pick that shit up in 2 years. But since there's such a demand, and since they want to profit off people's fucking obliviousness and their naivete and whatnot, they're just gonna be like, oh yeah, let's make a degree for this. Some of this shit you don't need a degree for. There's certain even history in general, like, oh, I'm a historian and all that stuff. A lot of the fucking times, I be knowing more than these niggas. Not everybody.
Listen, we got Ray that come on a lot, and man, the way that man knows history, I put him against almost any historian about Black rights that I could think of.
And you let him tell it. You let him tell it, and he's a stupid motherfucker. You let him tell it. He is not an intelligent guy. He'll tell you that. You say, yeah, I dropped out of this. I couldn't get past this. But when you ask him, or when he starts talking about history, our history, just like D says, put him on par with any of these motherfuckers. And don't have a degree behind his name, and don't give a fuck either. He don't even care. He got the data, though. He got the information.
Well, a lot of the times what degrees do, and this is the only thing I understand, it's kind of like saying it's kind of like a reference. So it's just like, it's basically like a better reference in the resume. Like, oh shit, nigga, you went to Harvard, and then Harvard niggas co-sign you? Oh, okay, then we could trust you. That's the only reason.
And that's actually a good point, because I think that kind of, because I was having a conversation, we talking about HBCUs, about how a lot of Black people going into Harvard and all that stuff, and they a lot of them only get in because of legacies. Like, it's mainly a connection too. Like, it's a networking aspect to it, but still, you can network out here. Like it's still a hustle at the end of the day, regardless of anything.
That's a great point you bring up about the Ivy League. Now we got levels to this shit here though. When you start talking about the Ivy League, education is part of it, but the network, the connections, that's what that is really about. When you talk to my Ivy League, your fucking Stanford, your fucking Yale, and them, the legacies and shit, that you get that from there. You ain't getting that from SUNY New York, or some of these fucking local.
You're not getting that from the MCC. You ain't getting that from.
You're gonna go to one of those schools, one of these, like your Hunter, your B. If you're gonna do that, then you better know what the fuck you're going in there for, because.
And let me add this. Ain't
no network coming behind that one. Sorry.
let's just go back to the hustle aspect of it all. If we are sending our children to these schools, hey, we got to send them in with the hustler's mentality of, hey, I need you to connect with this dude whose family got billions. I need you to connect with this dude that's gonna help you to do this. I need you to connect with people to build what you're trying to build. You know what I'm saying? It's good to just go for it's good to go for your STEM courses or whatnot, but also the connections that you're gonna make in there that are gonna further you in life.
Because we running low on the time, and I want to get this in there. What do you guys feel about blue collar work and nowadays. Because I bring this up to say this. I saw an article one day about how Caterpillar, the company Caterpillar, they were having some positions for like these, for big ass truck drivers or whatever. Probably requires a CDL or something like that. And they were having trouble filling these positions. And they're talking about starting $55,000 a year. $55,000 a year. You can't find nobody to get a CDL and get behind the wheel of this thing. Just throwing out 50,000 to drive a truck. You can't find anybody. And the article goes on to say the reason behind it is shit. Blue collar ain't sexy nowadays. Millennials don't want to fuck with. And okay, so was it about sexy? What's about the fucking money, man? What you in this for? What are you in this for?
College is about sexy. It's about sexy, believe it or not. Intellectual sexy. I'm telling you, it's a badge now. And a lot of times it's true. One time back in the day, I went to an HBCU party. I was trying to holler at chicks. All this shit. They're all like, yo, what's up, baby? Yo, what's good? I just stumbled in the party, to tell you the truth. I'm trying to speak to people. Oh, so what was your major? And I was just like,
what
was your major?
I like School of Hard Knocks. I don't know. I had shit. But that's what it is. A lot of times it's like a badge, or it's like that's what college is. It is an elitist, and there's a hierarchy that comes with it too. So it's like that's why they got the Ivy Leagues, but you can still get better educations from what I heard. And like even in SUNY, then you could probably get in like a major fucking Ivy League, but it's like it depends.
And again, that's I think because those Ivy Leagues, they're more about the networks. I'm pretty sure there is a certain level that the children or the students there, attendees have to meet. Sort of like you ain't embarrassing daddy. You understand what I'm saying? But it's really about that networking. You go in here, you finish these 4 years, you keep your nose clean. And we sending you to what's the Silicon Valley to go get yourself a 6-figure gig as soon as you get out of college. You understand? Shit like that.
Yo, Z, let me pose this question to all y'all though. So your child is about to go to college, and he has the option of the best HBCU and the best Ivy League college.
HBCU.
What you pushing for, and why?
I'm gonna do HBCU.
Well, okay, hold on. Why?
HBCU.
You said why? Hold on.
I don't know.
We might have to go get a little bonus time.
It's the same for me. Kind of like why you do a black black bank and everything else. We have to build up our own. For one. For two, I think the thing about black colleges, because I think outside of just the education of just the money, I think of the person. The most especially what I know about HBCUs, it teaches identity and it teaches you about different black people and everything else. That I kind of want to build that. And basically they need the fucking money. Like HBCUs are piss poor compared to a lot of other schools now.
That would be my only reason. Other than that, in terms of like schooling, I might say the other school.
And
because I was looking at this, I was actually watching this show, and they were out here because they have 3 schools pretty much across from each other, and I think they went to Morehouse here. And when he went into one of the classes, there were 3 students in that whole class. 3 students in that whole class.
What was the course though?
Because they
tight walking or some shit.
It was a mini course, but one of them.
I said, what was the course? Tightrope walking, like with 3 people was in.
It was like I forget what this course was. It was a regular course, but the fact of it was that their attendance period is low. You know what I mean? Their attendance is very low, and in fact, they go into certain meetings because one of the conversation I was having yesterday, the person was talking about how they're including more white people into it. And one of the things that they were watching, the white people, they showed 2 white people specifically. One was like the dorm, or I forgot what you call it, like an RA or something, like in control of the dorm.
Yeah.
And the other one was a tour guide. So you had this white student touring black students in a black college. You know what I mean? Which I feel like because they need the money, that they starting to take these other steps that's going to take away and dilute what HBCUs have become.
And that's the reason. That would be.
But what's a hilarious thing? I would say historically, that's what happened. Like most of this shit.
I mean, it did, and students had to fight in order to change that, where you could start learning more about your culture and everything else. And now I feel like it might revert back.
Yep.
But yeah, that's me personally, a reason why I would do it. That's if the kid wants to do it. Like, I mean, at a certain point, I can't tell the kid what to do. I would probably try to implant that to them, and I probably would want to push them that way. If they want to go to Ivy League, who am I? Who am I? Especially if we talk about the fact of where you can get what you need to further yourself. So if this is the better school for you, or you know what you're going there for, I'm not gonna say no. I would prefer they go to
I'll tell
it.
you what, man, I'm gonna be honest about it. Because where I am, the value I place on, the idea of just going to college. My simple answer to one of my children would be, I don't give a shit which one you choose, as long as you can explain to me effectively what it is that you're going to do once you get in there and what your plan is once you get out. If you can do that, and more power to you. But folks, you've had a real great show today, man. If you like any of this content, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get the notifications. I got my man Andy, pull out special. Got my man Anyae, Anyae's Way, DB. I'm G Cleve, Reality Gurus. Take care.